Solo Leveling and One Punch Man are two animes that have been compared a lot. Both are extremely similar in story and structure, down to their main character and hierarchy system. What we'll be doing today is placing Jin-Woo in the One Punch Man universe, and see how he would deal with the strongest characters One Punch Man has to offer. We're gonna structure it the same way we did with our Orihime vs Naruto video, so go watch that if you haven't seen it yet. If you want us to continue making more solo leveling videos, or any of our content in general, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. It greatly motivates us that there are people out there who support what we make, and that helps us make more stuff more often. With that out of the way, let's begin the video.
Jin-Woo has submitted himself among some of the most powerful main characters in manhwa and now anime, going from one of the weakest characters in the series to one of the strongest. But how strong is Jin-Woo, and how would he do in the One Punch Man verse? Scaling Jin-Woo should be relatively straightforward. Getting granted his perk of necromancy, Jin-Woo is able to, through the use of sorcery, reanimate the dead. Pretty much meaning if you're fighting him, you're fighting up to 10 million of his spawns. He does have a multitude of additional abilities, although some aren't as important as his most notable, such as invisibility and spatial portals. Jin-Woo also has passive negations and buffs, alongside immortality through conventional means and BFR. Jin-Woo, at the very least bare bottom, should easily scale to those planetary ranges, scaling far above Rakan, who wields enough power to destroy the world and then some, making a possible large planet evident, as well as the fact that this Earth in the series is far more durable than our own with magical reinforcement, offering a higher scale from scaling above the monarchs and rulers. These same rulers would eventually kill the supreme being who stated to have created the universe. Given the monarchs and rulers should scale around the same, and since Jin-Woo would have dismantled the monarchs by the end of the series, he can scale to these levels. Moreover, and additional evidence, since he's far above the rulers, although it could be mentioned to be an exaggeration scale or a contradiction, as that planetary seems to be more consistent within the story and throughout the series, with direct statement. But he does have uni possibilities nonetheless. For speed, there can be many FTL interpretations, the most notable deriving from avoiding the breath of destruction multiple times, which is stated to move at the speed of light. He would then go on to surpass this via leveling and just getting stronger throughout the series, gaining FTL plus to possibly MFTL through sheer advancement and his little power-ups he has. Now, how does this stack up to the One Punch Man verse?
The One Punch Man universe, on average, actually has a lot of strong characters. What I will do is scale a wide range of characters, group by group, and see how Jin-Woo could do with all of these characters, which there are a lot. I'll start with A-class heroes. Most A-class heroes have fought demon level monsters and showed relativity to them. Demon level monsters are said to be a threat to entire cities, giving them around town to city level AP. Most A-class heroes scale to weaker versions of these demon level monsters. Genos very early in the series has shown town level feats, and would then struggle with Grizzly Nia, a demon level monster. Afterwards, two A-class heroes being Lightning Genji and Stinger were able to damage this same monster. Iain and Okama Itachi were shown to straight up beat Devil Longhair, who is a demon level monster. And Snack and Max were shown to defeat 3 crows that were split up from a demon level monster as well. These feats would mean that most of the A-class heroes should be in the small town level range or higher. There are some who have better feats and narrative implications. Death Gatlin has shown to actually scare a human Garo, although he was nerfed to the ground. And a My Mask who has the narrative of being the strongest A-class hero. Fubuki, after seeing Saitama defeat Sonic, believes he is nowhere near a My Mask power, giving these two at the very least small town to large town level ranges. And as for their speed, there are statements in One Punch Man's guidebooks that suggest these A-class heroes could move at lightning speeds. And these A-class heroes have fought each other on numerous occasions in the manga, and have been able to react to one another. And to push this scale even more, Genos was able to react and dodge lasers. Genos would later on then get packed up by a Giga nerfed Garo, and this Garo would later struggle landing hits on A-class heroes. I don't really think any of them individually are relative to this Garo, since they needed perfect synergy to actually fight him, but I think these feats and databook statements suggest that most of these A-class heroes should be between massively hypersonic to possibly sub somewhat relativistic. At the very least, lightning timers for most of them. Now as for Sung Jin-Woo, there is virtually nothing these guys can really do. Most of Sung Jin-Woo's shadow army are just as strong as them, if not stronger. And most of the A-class heroes are mostly just physically gifted superhumans, with just different fighting styles or weaponry, and not a lot of major hacks or abilities to counter Jin-Woo. And either way, none of them have the physical stats to even stop any of Sung Jin-Woo's army, let alone Jin-Woo himself. All it takes is one monarch to be summoned and the A-class heroes are getting pieced up. Now moving on to a stronger tier of characters, we have the S-class heroes. This group does have a massive range of scaling between these 17 people. The weaker ones being town to city level like the A-class heroes, to the strongest being outright in the planetary ranges. The weaker side of the S-class heroes being Piri Prisoner, Zombie Man, and Drive Knight, like I said, have town level AP, but with lightning timer speed as well, as one of them was able to block lightning point blank, and another having massively hypersonic calculations. Darkshine and Child Emperor being slightly stronger than the previous mentioned characters, have feats that scale into mountain levels, like Darkshine damaging Psychos and Human Garo. Metal Knight and Child Emperor being relative to each other, and both should be comparable or above Darkshine given their firepower and weaponry. The higher tiers of the S-class being Metal Bat, Bang, Atomic Samurai, and Flashy Flash, who all have feats that should scale them between country level to multi-continental, as all of these people have feats against people like Monster Garo and Golden S. And apart from the rest, these three, excluding Metal Bat, should be faster than light, as Flashy Flash is stated to be able to travel with the speed of light, and has the feats to back it up, by reacting and dodging Monster Garo and Platinum S. Bang as well has feats of matching Monster Garo in speed, and Atomic Samurai being a higher rank should scale his speed above both of them. And for the very strongest characters in this tier, we have Genos, Tatsumaki, and Blast. Tatsumaki and Genos have both been able to trade blows with Sairochi, who has demonstrated feats like lifting large chunks of the earth that calculate between multi-con to small planet. Genos wouldn't directly scale to Sairochi, but Tatsumaki would definitely scale above her, as she was able to one-shot her once she stopped holding back, giving Tatsumaki planetary AP and Genos around multi-continental. Both of them as well having faster than light plus combat speeds by scaling far above the rest of the S-class heroes I mentioned earlier. Just quickly as well, I'd want to include Boros. Even though he isn't part of this group, he should be in the same level as these two, having the statement of capability to destroy the earth, although his full power might actually be lower than this, as Boros in the manga self states he will destroy merely the surface of the earth instead of the entire thing. Whether you side with the manga or data book, scaling of multi-continental or planetary are both valid. And to top it off, we have the strongest hero being Blast. Blast having multiple feats that scale him to Cosmic Garo, and his biggest feat of being able to survive a connection of 2 serious punches, which would scale Blast at a low ball of multi-solar system.
Damn, actually? Oh shit.
But now we can finally get into the peaks of the verse, Garo and Saitama. Both of them have demonstrated the best feats by far of any character in the series. Garo having the power to emit gamma ray bursts, which has the output of destroying entire stars and solar systems. Saitama as well having the power to sneeze away Jupiter, and their biggest feat together is their clash of series punches, which created a giant void in space. It's hard to estimate exactly how much this feat would scale to, since any of those lights in the sky could be different types of celestial bodies like stars or entire galaxies. But a safe estimate would be between multi-solar system to galaxy level. Obviously Saitama is probably much stronger than this, as you know he is Saitama, but that's as far as he scales when it comes to raw feats. Now are they enough to take down Sung Jin-Woo? When it comes to his shadow army, they are pop stopping them very easily, but as for Sung Jin-Woo himself, not so much. His universal scaling still far outclasses Saitama and Garo, but what they do have an advantage is speed. The highest speed metas in solo leveling usually lie in FTL or FTL+, while Saitama and Garo have pulled off moves that scale them to hundreds of thousands of times the speed of light. So this pretty much resorts to a stalemate. Saitama and Garo can't damage him, and Sung Jin-Woo can't react or hit either of them. What Sung Jin-Woo could do is use an outcry from his soul that paralyzes his enemies in fear. This will be his best possible win con, as it is an AoE attack that affects those weaker than him. And any other ability Sung Jin-Woo has wouldn't really do anything because of the speed gap. So with that in mind, there's still a window for Sung Jin-Woo to win here, which pretty much concludes the video of Sung Jin-Woo soloing the verse. There is still the God of One Punch Man that could still be mentioned, but as of right now, he is still featless. And just trying to make a scenario would just involve a lot of headcanon that probably just wouldn't make any sense. But through this analysis, I believe it's safe to say Sung Jin-Woo is bullying the One Punch Man verse on his own.